This video is for business leaders who want to create consensus and make better decisions based on science. Hello, everyone. My name is Tim B. Green, and this is Crush It Club, episode 79, How to Create Consensus. Please, if you want to get a checklist which helps you, it uses scientific principles, come get this checklist here written there. I'll also put the link in the description. It's objective, verifiable, reproducible for setting any goal, including building consensus strategies such as I'm going to talk about today. So that said, I also want to let you know that I'm going to be making another gift related to this, another guide, which will be specifically around the consensus building strategies I'm talking about in this video soon. It's not ready yet, but soon. Okay, so let's put on our imaginations here, and that is, imagine all the members of your primary management team have just assembled for a meeting. Jack, your head of HR, for some reason today he seems off. You're not really sure why, and you'd probably ignore it were it not for the fact that he has a large red brick, you know, those bricks for building houses and stuff, on top of his meeting brief. The meeting starts, everything's fine. Jack stands up, he picks up the brick, and he throws it at your head. What do you do? Okay, that's probably what you would do. Don't even need to know. Now, let's try the same scenario again, except this time, Jack stands up, he picks up the brick, and he throws it at Sandra's head, your head of R&D. What would she do? Well, both of you would duck, obviously. But why? We're going to talk about that in a second. So after Jack's hauled away for his strange behavior by security, you decide you're going to continue the meeting anyway because you have stuff you got to get done. So everybody takes out their cell phones. We'll just imagine my cell phone is a timer. They press, everybody's cell phone is on. They press the power button. And what happens to every single phone? Is anybody surprised by what happens? Anybody shocked by the results of what happens? When you take a cell phone that's on, you hold it up to show everybody else, and you press the button. Same thing happens every time, right? Of course not, but why? As the meeting comes to a close, so you've had your meeting, the meeting's coming to a close, and basically every single attendee needs to get on a flight, so they need to go to the airport to catch their flight. And my question is, can you imagine at this meeting, does anybody go, I'm sorry, but I refuse to take a flight because I don't believe a 91,293 pound 737 can fly. Can you imagine anybody refusing to fly because 737s weigh that much? I looked it up. No, probably not, but why not? It's actually pretty simple. There's three principles at work here. First of all, because all three work independently of belief. You don't have to believe the brick will hurt you. If you don't move, it will hurt you whether you believe it will or not. So it's independent of belief or objectively real. And the second one is it's the same for all observers. No matter who is watching that brick fly towards your head or who is watching you press the button, long press the button on all your cell phones, when they weren't started from on, they will all turn off, right? And anybody who observes that within the meeting and anybody who's looking through glass windows, if you have them, will see the same thing. So it's measurably measurable, objectively measurable, or objectively verifiable by other observers. And the third one is every time you do these three things, every time you press the power button on your cell phone, when it's on, it turns off. Every time somebody interacts with the brick, they know it's hard and heavy. And every time somebody gets on an airplane and it reaches a certain speed, it takes off into the air. So you don't doubt that it's going to work because it's reproducible, or repeated. Okay, those are the three main principles. Now, you can use these same principles to create consensus, and the reason you can do this is because everyone agrees that these things are true. So we'll start with that one. So everybody agrees certain things are true. The numbers, the cost, the weight of your product, the new entry into the market. You may not agree of the meaning of something, but you do agree that there's a new product. Nobody's going to, no, I don't believe there's a new product. So focus first on what's objectively real, what everybody in the meeting indisputably agrees upon as being real, regardless of belief, which is where the meaning comes in. So a 20% increase in a price in the material of your product, the accountant might have a fundamentally different belief as to what that means in terms of the ability to make a profit than somebody in sales who just says, no problem, we can offset that with a higher price and do a promotion. But what's objectively real is the cost has raised 20%, and nobody disagrees with that. So start with what's objectively real and unequivocally agreed upon by everyone. The second one is that anyone who sees what you guys are talking about, this particular issue or even another issue, who observes these issues sees the same thing as everyone else. That everybody agrees a brick is hard. Everybody agrees a 737 reaching a certain speed, assuming everything is mechanically okay, will fly. They're not surprised when suddenly it lifts off the ground. They've seen it a bunch of times. But everybody agrees, all observers watching the plane see the same thing. It leaves the ground. All observers watching the cell phone see it turn on if it was off and turn off if it was on. And everyone sees a brick thrown at their head. Everybody watching sees the person is thrown at, duck. Nobody disagrees about that. And third is that it is reproducible. Now, I've already covered this. That is, every time these things happen, it happens the same way every time. Every time you throw a brick at somebody, everybody always ducks. Every time you press the button on your cell phone, the same thing happens. If it's on, it turns off. If it's off, it turns on. Every single time. It's reproducible. So with these three things, you can use those factors to build consensus. And what this does is this produces something called psychological momentum, in which everybody starts the meeting agreeing that this is something we all believe is real. This is something that is agreed upon by everybody who witnesses it. And this is something that anybody else who looks at it or we can reproduce this thing under these same conditions, we expect to get the same results every single time. Now, from then, you can start to part ways and challenge each other and do everything. Ideal in an environment of psychological safety, but now you've spent some time, everybody in the room is agreeing on something. So you guys know you're starting with the same facts, and they're objectively real, objectively measurable or observable by any observer, and reproducible. Now from that point, you can go on to all the things that may or may not start to diverge, but you've already psychologically headed in the direction of yes, yes, and yes. So that's it for Crush It Club episode 79, How to Create Consensus. My name is Tim B. Green. Bye for now.